Hello, English learners, and welcome. I'm your host, Paul. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you. Excited to chat about English learning today. When you're trying to speak English, but your brain's stuck translating from your native language.
Yeah, you're building the sentence in your head first,
Yeah.
then scrambling for the English words.
Right, by the time you're ready, the conversation's moved on. It's like,
They're always playing catch up.
exactly. And it can be so frustrating. It's like there's this invisible barrier between you and fluency.
It is. A lot of English learners hits this wall. It's that internal translation process. It acts as a bottleneck.
It slows you down, makes it harder to just let the words flow naturally.
And that's what we're tackling in this deep dive.
Mhm.
We're going to give you the tools to bypass that mental translation.
We want to help you train your brain to think in English directly, just like a native speaker.
Imagine that. Words coming effortlessly. No more mental back and forth.
Now, before we get into the how-to, let's talk about the why. Why is thinking in English so crucial?
Well, first off, it eliminates that delay we were talking about. No more translating in your head, you're thinking in English from the get-go.
Right, and that leads to faster speaking, which boosts confidence. It's like you're not constantly searching for words.
And it does wonders for your listening comprehension, too. Your brain's already in English mode, ready to process what you're hearing.
It's like when you're watching a movie or listening to music. You start picking up words and phrases instantly.
Exactly. No more struggling to keep up.
Mhm.
And even your pronunciation can improve.
Because you're hearing the sounds in your head the way native speakers do.
Precisely. So thinking in English, it has a ripple effect.
Improves your speaking, listening, even your writing. So the why is clear. But the big question is,
How? How do we actually make this shift? How do we get our brains to think in English naturally?
that's what we're going to unpack today. But first, let's talk about some common mistakes.
Right. Things that might be holding you back without you even realizing it.
Things to avoid. So what's the first pitfall?
Over-reliance on translation. If you're constantly translating every word, your brain never gets a chance to think in English independently.
It's like you're relying on crutches instead of letting your legs do the work.
A great analogy. You got to trust your brain to make those direct connections with English.
So ditch the translator and start thinking in English directly. What's the next trap to watch out for?
Getting bogged down by grammar. Many learners, they get so focused on perfect grammar that they overthink it.
I can see that. You're trying to construct flawless sentences in your head, and it just freezes you up.
Exactly. While grammar is important, don't let it paralyze you. Native speakers, they don't overanalyze grammar when they're speaking. They just speak.
And let's be honest, even native speakers make mistakes. It's a natural part of language.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid to make mistakes. Fluency comes from practice, not perfection.
So ditch the grammar police in your head and just let the words flow. What else can trip people up?
Fear of making mistakes. This one's a biggie. Some learners are so scared of saying the wrong thing that they avoid speaking altogether.
But that's how we learn, right? Through trial and error. Mistakes are valuable.
Precisely. Embrace the stumbles. They're stepping stones to fluency. The more you practice thinking and speaking, the stronger those neural pathways become.
So don't let fear hold you back. What's the final mistake we should be mindful of?
Not immersing yourself enough in English. If you're only exposed to English in a classroom setting, it's harder for your brain to make that switch.
Makes sense. If your daily life is mostly in your native language, your brain naturally defaults to it.
Right. So surround yourself with English as much as possible. Create an English-rich environment.
Okay, so we've talked about the pitfalls, the things to avoid. Now let's get to the good stuff. How do we actually start thinking in English?
Let's dive into some practical techniques. Step 1 is immersion. Surround yourself with the language.
Flood your senses with it. What are some specific ways to do that?
Listen to English podcasts or music. Watch movies and TV shows, maybe with subtitles at first, but try to wean yourself off them.
Got it. Anything else?
Read English books, articles, engage with English content on social media.
Right, it's all about exposure. What about our physical environment?
Change the language settings on your devices to English. Your phone, your computer, everything.
Might feel weird at first, but I guess it forces you to think in English.
Exactly. You could even label things around your house with English sticky notes. Simple, but effective.
I like that. So creating an English bubble around yourself, what's step 2?
Start narrating your day in English. As you're doing things, describe them to yourself.
Like, I'm making coffee, or I'm going for a walk.
Exactly. It connects the language to your actual experiences.
Makes it more real, more immediate.
You can even start with just single words. Look around you and think table, chair, window.
No need to translate, just think of the English word directly.
And as you get comfortable, move on to short phrases. I'm hungry. I need to go to the store.
Okay, so building up gradually, from words to phrases, what's the next step?
Think in chunks. Instead of translating word for word, learn common phrases as whole units. Yeah, like, how's going? Or nice to meet you. Don't analyze them, just learn them as complete phrases.
It's like learning the rhythm of the language.
Exactly. Focus on collocations, too. Words that naturally go together, like make a decision instead of do a decision.
Right, because that's how native speakers actually think. What's another technique we can use?
Visual association. Our brains are wired for visual memory. So when you learn a new word, picture it.
Instead of translating it, you create a mental image.
Exactly. Apple. You see a red, shiny apple. Run. You imagine someone running.
It's like creating flashcards in your mind.
You can use actual flashcards too, with pictures instead of translations. It helps bypass that reliance on your native language.
Smart. So we're starting to rewire our brains, making those direct connections. What's next?
Reduce your dependence on translation. This is key. We talked about it as a mistake earlier, but it's also a strategy.
So how do we break free from the translator?
Start using an English dictionary. When you encounter a new word, look it up in English.
Force yourself to think within the English context.
And practice describing gaps. If you can't recall a word, try explaining it using other English words you know.
Like the thing you use to open a bottle instead of immediately searching for the word corkscrew in your native language.
Right. Stay within the English realm. What else can we do?
We've talked about reading, listening. What about speaking?
Practice active listening. Really pay attention to English podcasts and videos. Don't just hear the words, notice the intonation, the rhythm.
It's like listening with a purpose.
Exactly. And try a technique called shadowing. Repeat after the speaker, mimicking their pronunciation, their tone.
It's like you're their shadow trying to perfectly replicate their voice.
Right. It helps internalize the sounds and patterns of English. What else can we add to our toolkit?
What about writing? Can that help?
Absolutely. Keep a journal in English. Write about your thoughts, your day, anything.
Doesn't have to be perfect, just get those thoughts flowing in English.
Exactly. Even a few sentences a day can make a difference.
Great. What's the next step?
Talk to yourself in English. Might sound strange, but it's a fantastic way to practice.
No pressure, you can be as silly as you want.
Exactly. Debate different topics, rehearse conversations, or just think through your day.
It's like a free space to experiment with the language.
And when you're ready, seek out opportunities to speak with others. Find a language exchange partner. Join online groups. Anything to get that real-time practice.
Great advice. So we've got a ton of techniques here, but what's the most important thing to remember?
Patience and consistency. Learning to think in a new language takes time and effort.
It's not a sprint, it's a marathon.
Exactly. Set small goals, be consistent with your practice, and celebrate those small victories.
Like when you suddenly recall an English word without even thinking about it.
That's progress. And remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about developing that natural reflex.
So over time, your brain will just default to English. It'll become second nature.
Exactly. And there are tons of resources out there to help you. Apps like Fluent U and Anki are great for practice.
Wow, we've covered so much ground today. It's exciting to think about all the possibilities.
It is. It's about making English a part of your everyday life, integrating it into your thoughts and actions.
And with consistent effort, you'll find that thinking in English becomes more and more natural.
It's a journey, but a rewarding one. Speaking, writing, understanding, it all becomes easier.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, let's recap some key takeaways.
Start small, be consistent, and embrace mistakes.
Progress over perfection. And remember, those small efforts, they add up over time.
And now to you, our listener, a question. What's one technique from today's deep dive that you're going to try first? What resonated with you the most?
Share your experience, connect with other learners, and let us know what you're working on.
We're eager to see your progress. Keep practicing, keep thinking in English, and keep that momentum going.
And as a final thought, consider this. Just 5 minutes a day, 5 minutes of consciously thinking in English. Imagine the impact that could have over time.
It's a small commitment with potentially huge rewards. Until our next deep dive, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep into the fascinating world of English.
See you next time.